Oh my goodness, the new graphic gets me every time. What's going on, everybody? This is THS Wrestling. This week in wrestling, but tonight we're doing a live recap of WWE Fastlane. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Hello, everyone. Matthew, what's going on, my friend? Welcome back to the chat. My name is John. I am joined by Neeson. Neeson, what's going on?
The beard is here, and the champ isn't.
And the champ is in the building. We are also joined by co-founder of the New Amsterdam Network, which features Wassup Flobo After Hours and DrapedInGold.com, which is NXT UK and NXT Recap, and much more. A DJ, a comedian, and selfishly, most importantly to me, a Mets fan. Please welcome Flobo Boyce. Hello, sir.
When I see other Mets fans, kind of like, oh, that's like the Spider-Man meme. Like, oh my gosh, you exist. So I'm so glad to be on the show. More ways than one.
You guys are both tortured souls.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm not either.
I was alive in 2000. I'm good. You know, I mean, I'm a long time wrestling fan. Glad to be on the show talking about Fastlane, the road to WrestleMania, and all the puns that go along with that. You know, good times.
All right, and we will get into that, but we got some stuff we got to take care of. You can't see my pup in my lap, but it's been a long week, and I need my coffee. So, guys, deathwishcoffee.com promo code. That's me. That's me every morning when I have to wake up. Deathwishcoffee.com. Use the promo code #show at checkout for 10% off your. That's me going, oh, I have to get up again. It's fine. She's great. She's doing great. There's Death Wish Coffee. We appreciate them. They are a sponsor. All right, guys.
I have a question. What's your favorite blend? I need to know which blend to get first. Which Death Wish coffee should I try?
Now, I just got a double pack of just the medium, and there is another one that I believe Zach Wilde puts out, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I'm gonna find it right now because it's like, I think it's actually called Fueled by Death, but I'm not sure if that is correct.
Sick.
Oh, Valhalla Java. That's what it's called. I've been using that one recently, and that one is pretty cool. And then just their regular blend is also really good. They have, I think, pumpkin spice. That might just be seasonal. They got a bunch of stuff over there.
Cool.
And they sent me this. So.
Oh, dang. Swag.
Can't argue with that. All right, so Flobo, what we do here is when we're doing a reaction show, we kind of start off with the overall show, and we ask the chat and everyone that is on the show, A to F, what do you give this show?
Yeah, it's a hard one to put a finger on because it's on that road to WrestleMania, so that means there'd be some filler action in there, and Fastlane is that. A lot of matches there. It felt like there were Raw, SmackDown takeaways and all that jazz, but I had to give it a solid B. I mean, the main event was definitely good storytelling there. I do feel like Alexa Bliss and the Fiend and Randy Orton has the people talking, whether or not you agree or disagree with the choices there tonight. And of course, I am just a huge fan of the less than 3 hour pay-per-views because I remember back in the days when every pay-per-view was 4 hours. So it's always so.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good points. Neeson, what are you thinking in chat? Drop your grades. We'll put them up on the screen here.
All right. You make some very valid points that would hold it to a B. I'm gonna have to go with a B minus, maybe C plus. I think that I don't like the fact that it's a 2 hour and a half pay-per-view when we have a 3 hour fucking Raw. What is the issue with that? Why we have a 3 hour Raw? Why are you putting me through the trenches of watching 3 hours of television for free, and I'm paying for 2.5 hours of a pay-per-view? I don't understand, or a special event, whatever you said, whatever it's called. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So that's one reason I really dock it. But I really loved this match. And I really loved the main event. And I really loved Sheamus and Drew beating the holy shit out of each other.
Yes.
And I really loved, as pointed out in the comments, the Toxic Avenger coming back, Kane, aka the Fiend, and how he came out of the ground. Apparently, R-Truth probably blew him up because he was flattened when he was burned. Because you've seen that, right? It was just a flat piece of clothes that was burning. And apparently he got blown back up. He got inflated and came back from under the ring where he was burnt. Exactly. He came back from under the ring when he was burnt. So I honestly, those things really saved it, but I did feel like a lot of fillers that shouldn't have been on there. So that to me weighed it down. So a C+, B-.
I think for me, I'm about in the same range, probably C+, B-. I really enjoyed the main event. I thought Rollins and Shinsuke was overall pretty good, but it did have, and I guess I'm going to be pretty harsh. It did have a, well, this is a house show match feel to it. Facts. A little bit of the time. I thought the ending was pretty cool. As you said, McIntyre and Sheamus beat the hell out of each other. And I mean, let's just get into it, because I don't want to talk too much about individual matches when we're going to get into it right now. Our first match was the kickoff show. Riddle defeating Mustafa Ali for the WWE United States Championship. I thought the match was okay. I want Ali to have a belt. I think that would be great for him. I think he's been doing a lot of great work. A title. Thank you, belts. Yes. But at the end of this match, we saw what appears to be the dismantling of Retribution. They all went their separate ways and gave Mustafa Ali a double choke slam for his trouble. Neeson, what did you think of this match, and what do you think of them kind of wiping the slate clean here with Retribution, apparently?
This is what I think. Like Jimmy said, there is no reason a U.S. title match to be on the kickoff show. It was a 2.5-hour show. Give me my 3 hours. Give me what I want. All right? That's what I want. Give me what I want. And that match should have been, not only should that match should have been on the show, but, and also, that fallout should have been on the show. Why is the fallout of Retribution on a kickoff show? Why is that?
Because they never really actually cared about Retribution.
Exactly. But they have some talented people. Just break them up, demask them, give me Donovan Dijakovic versus Keith Lee for 23 months straight, and I'll be fine. Like, we got 3 hours on Raw. Just give them 30 minutes each and every week, and I'll be fine. But I think this is great because for Mia Young, I was hoping like they just took off the mask then. Like I start
drop them in the ring.
Dropped them, and then I in my mind I'm like, oh, on Monday night, Ali is gonna like start calling them by their real names, like, yeah, Mia Yim, da 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 da. Like I was just like, I can't wait for the story to unfold, but I'm also have no faith in that because why? It was on the freaking kickoff show.
Flobo.
I like kickoff shows. they give me something to put in the background. I'm getting ready and settled in like I'm at an actual event. I understand. United States title, the IC title, are never ones that get the most respect. We'll talk about that title a little later. But I like the idea. Retribution, what could have been. When it was announced, which is kind of weird, when they announced it on WWE.com that coming Monday, a new faction's coming, I was on the edge of my seat for months. It was kind of a cool mystery in the summer. What was filled with mysteries that year of who's getting everyone's eye out, who hit Elias, you know what I mean, or who hit Jeff Hardy. This was the mystery I was about. Retribution never got the second gear, never got the blocks. It became kind of a joke. But towards the end of it, I was like, well, maybe they could be the hour one bad guys, the mini bosses, go after people like Riddle and Ricochet and Xavier Woods. And as soon as I was kind of getting to that, then you tell me it's over. Mustafa Ali did nothing wrong. In fact, this is the reason why Seth Rollins is a heel, because Raw lost Survivor Series 1 year, and Seth was like, guys, we need to do better. Boo. You know? If you're going to break them up, that should have been the main card. But the match itself being on the pre-show didn't bother me. But that doesn't answer the question. What happens to Retribution now? Do they change their names back? Do they get names? I love Dijakovic, but technically he got killed off by Karrion Kross over the summer. Like,
That's
where is
true.
he going to go? So I'm a little torn by that. I think the Fallout should have, if we're going to break them up, it should have been the main card.
Yeah, I agree on all fronts. I feel like I am interested to see what they do now with the members of Retribution. Like, will they just all drop their masks in like a garbage fire or something? Just really edgy stuff like they were trying. Man, yeah. When they announced Retribution,
please don't bring that.
When they announced Retribution, like, ooh, a new stable is coming, I went, this is kind of cool, and then it immediately wasn't cool.
It immediately wasn't cool because the internet was like, oh, Atifa and blah, 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 blah. And then they got nervous, pulled back from doing all the like crazy riot stuff. And then they're like, oh, we can't do that anymore. We can't cause ruckus because we're getting compared to, propaganda politics shit.
All right. We opened the actual show with a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Nia and Shayna retain, and we get a furthering of Sasha and Bianca's storyline. I once again can't believe I'm going to say this. Why was this not Natalya and Tamina getting a title shot?
I knew it.
I can't believe this is where I've come to in my life.
Wait, you have to give our guests background about.
I don't care for Tamina, and I find Natalya boring.
Oh, okay, that is context. I think you're a huge fan. Like, what about Tamina? I was like,
no, I'm not. But I watched some of SmackDown. I saw their little like pull up in their car and them talking a bunch of shit, and I was like, okay, this is something for them. And I mean, they should get a title shot, I feel. And look, I know we have to further the storyline of Sasha and Bianca, but we still have time to do that, and we could have given somebody else. I don't know. This was, and we had Reginald in here, which is just like, we're just forcing this dude into this storyline. And I mean, Neeson, I know you're probably feeling a different type of way about this match, but I mean, look, I'll take it.
So I'm really laughing because I felt this whole time, I'm like, I'm sure Pingo feels that it should bring Natalya and Tamina should have been in this match.
What has WWE done to me?
Right. So I'm like crying because you have to understand, like the past almost 2 years now of just Natalya's a fine wrestler. It's amazing. But okay, so back to this match. I do agree, especially after SmackDown. I thought the same thing. Why is Natalya and Tamina not in this match? But also, I would have been like, who's being the heels? So I start thinking like for Mania, it has to be a multi-woman tag match for the titles, because at this point, like, you just can't have Tamina and Natalya versus Nia and Shayna, because one thing I don't want to see is Nia and Shayna playing the babyface ever.
No, absolutely not.
But back to Sasha and Bianca, the reason why I really love this match. So, mind you, I was driving in the middle of traffic watching this on my phone, what I suggest no one do. But for Matthew, shut your mouth. Matthew, shut your mouth. Look, Sasha and Bianca finally turned it up. And when that smack was a smack heard around the world, woo! And let me tell you, the face I made was this one. Right there. I literally took a picture of my face because it was stuck. It was stuck like this. Like when I saw the smack. And I just thought it was very sunning of Bianca got sunned by Sasha. Like the whole time it's like you're a rookie, like poked her in the forehead. When she did it the first time and Bianca got out the ring, I was like, oh damn, like you just gonna let that go? I didn't care about the match anymore. Like that, I did not care about. I was like, here we go. And then at the end, when she poked her and then smacked the shit out of her, and Bianca just stood there like I don't even know what, just like looked at the sign. I was like, Bianca, on Friday, you better come back and unleash hell on Sasha Banks for smacking the shit out of you and then walking away. Like nothing was wrong. That was the highlight of the show to me. Reginald, I don't know what's going on there. They bet not put I watched I watched Fastlane in my car. But they bet not put Reginald with Sasha because I feel like she doesn't need it. Who knows where it's going? But God damn it, I'm for it. I'm excited. And just give the titles to like have Dakota and Raquel win the titles off of those other two. I don't know. It's weird.
Wait, so you were watching the pay-per-view and take selfies while driving at the same time?
Look, man, I can do amazing things.
I'm not denying it. I just got to get it.
It's LA traffic is back. Guys.
Oh yeah, he's right. He's not even lying. It's so back.
It's back. I was in traffic.
No, I believe it. Yo, LA just said, before there was the pandemic, they're gonna put the traffic back first. Then the stores are gonna open.
Yeah, right.
No, look, the match with myself was solid. I understand why this happened now. It's a special event. It's the first one on Peacock. So this is probably the first time we're seeing these characters for a lot of people. And I think WWE realized the whole face versus face thing is not going to work with Sasha versus Bianca. No. Because to middle America, Bianca looks a lot more aggressive. Let's just call a spade a spade. She claps like this. She has a long ponytail. It's very easy to say, perhaps ignorantly, and say, oh, I'm not really with her. But to anyone who's been with a team, a group project, they got slapped across the face, and the person walks away, you establish or reestablish that Sasha Banks is a heel. She was. She's only was a face with Carmella and Bayley, but she really came back a bad person. So I like the match. I also don't understand what Reginald's about. I feel like Reginald would have been fine with Carmella still. Carmella gets a little bit of a rehab as far as her character is concerned, but I thought it hit all the points it needed. And it's a good thing it was in the top half of the show, or top match of the show, when the lights actually did go on. So it was pretty solid.
Where's Carmella?
Yes. You know what? When you said that, I went, oh, yeah.
Yeah. You said a character gets a rehab. It just got a rehab.
I don't know why she fired a dude. That was the best thing she had going for him.
Very strange. Very strange.
Breaker, Thunder Rosa, Carmella, AEW Championship.
Oh, there you go.
I like it.
Speaking of strange, we had an Intercontinental Championship match. Big E defending against Apollo Crews, and I'm saying strange because of the finish. The match,
right, man. You're among friends.
Match itself, I really enjoyed. I was like, okay, this is good stuff. Apollo's really turning it up. Big E is talking that shit, and I love it, dude. When he was in his face, I'm like, he better slap him in the head. And then he did slap him in the head. I went, this is great. This is good stuff. The finish took the air right out of the room for me, though. Other than that, I was really enjoying it. I feel like that ref really messed up. I really hope that does not that's not the end for her.
I don't think she did.
You don't think she did? So you think that was the finish?
I think this is I think this is their way to getting into Mania. I honestly think, because you can't have a clean victory. You can't have a Big E win cleanly or in just pure 1, 2, 3, and then go to Mania and face Apollo Crews, or go to Mania and face anybody within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right?
Oh, like geez. 20 days, yeah.
Yeah. So that, when I seen the finish, I was like, oh, we're getting them for Mania in like a stipulation match. Like this okay. Like it's going to be a stipulation match, Apollo and Big E. And yes, we've seen a lot of it, but now we technically only seen this version of Apollo and Big E in one match. And on top of that, that end, the pinning, but after, when basically Apollo was doing what Big E was doing to Apollo and had his foot on his face at the end, like, I was like, oh yeah, this is a money WrestleMania match. And remember, WrestleMania is 2 days. They need this match to fill out the card.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I'll admit this to the heavens. I was an Apollo fan day one. I used to freestyle to his original theme song, and last summer when he was the United States champion, I was like, man, finally this is going to be his time. But they found a way to make me bored of the guy, which is really unfortunate. This new character has been weird for me, and a lot of it's been hard to take for two reasons. One, you never see a character put on an accent. It seems like what a cartoon villain might do. Yeah. And two, SmackDown kind of already has a tribal chief, so we have another one. But I will say I've never seen an intense Apollo Crews like this, and frankly, that needs to be done. We need to feel something about this guy, because I feel like I always tell some of my buddies, I feel like I'm in those Michigan J Frog commercials or cartoons. But yo, Apollo Crews is crazy. Sing, Frog, sing, and if Frog doesn't sing, everyone's looking at me. I feel that's the same way with Apollo Crews' career. Here's a chance for us to actually feel something about him, acting aside, and it delivered. In the finish, I don't think it was planned, but that's the only plan you have left to your point, Nathan. You have to do the whole, hey, it wasn't decisive, gotta do one more, and why not do it 2.5 weeks away at WrestleMania?
Exactly.
Yeah, Uha Nation has always had the talent, and it looks like we're finally putting the character work together with it, so.
Too easy. I'm so glad he gave up that like whole corny smiling gimmick. So glad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do we even want to talk about the next match? Like it's Braun Strowman versus Elias.
You know what? We don't have to. I just want to say this is one of the major points that brought this pay-per-view down for me, though. This is a clear. This is just to hold us off to get to Mania. Like, I don't smack me in the face with the truth. Like, sell me the dream, sell me the lie, give me the lie. But you clearly are just holding us off until Mania. Like, it sucks. And what is Elias? Remember when Elias was like the hottest thing?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like there's some times where a character is like done. I think it was done when he got hit by a car, accused a guy, and lost a fight to that guy he accused. How did you come back from that? Like, what? You're not getting your outcome up. All right, fine.
This is very fair point.
This is actually a good question.
Go. Gotcha.
Good question in chat. Why do we need a Shane McMahon angle this year / I guess, every year?
Two-night Mania. A two-night Mania that's coming off of the slowest and weirdest wrestling year ever. I think if we're gonna do 2 nights of Mania, it shouldn't be this year. But
so we need Shane to jump off something, basically.
Absolutely. He needs to jump off the pirate ship because, well, clear. And that's another thing. It's such a 2-night Mania, guys. It's such a 2-night Mania that they're going to the well and giving us KO versus Sami Zayn. I just want to throw that out there, guys. This is how much it's a 2-night Mania.
Yeah.
And it's in front of people. I forgot about that too.
In front of people. Like, that's what you need. They need all their stars, all their big matches. They're going to tap into the well. It's probably going to be Charlotte versus Ric Flair for all we know. Like,
no.
I think
that's another one. That's another one.
Mania has always been crafted to have like your matches, your storylines, and then those spectacle things, right? The celebrities already slotted in there for Bad Bunny, but Shane will offer you a match that is essentially filler, but it has enough spectacle in there to make you go, "Oh my gosh!" That will probably work to like mitigate any kind of responses. The problem is, it won't be this year problem, but if you notice, there's less and less legends to pull from, whether you do an Evolution 2, whether you do another WrestleMania. So it's going to be something you have to change. But right now, why not go into that savings account while you still got some cash in there?
Yep.
Bro, okay, is it Sheamus and match next? The Sheamus and Drew match next?
No, the next match is Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Seth Rollins. Personally, I enjoyed this match. For the most part, it did feel a little house showy to me at parts. I thought the finish was really nice. And I thought it was a good showing from Shinsuke, which we need. And they kind of teased a backstage segment with Shinsuke and Riddle to open the show. And then I sat there and went, that would be a cool match for Mania. But, I mean, do we do a trade? Because they're on separate. Come on, Camilla, what are you doing? My dog, sorry. They're on separate shows, so I don't know how we would get to that. But, you know, it's WWE, so they could figure it out. But this match, I really enjoyed it. I am pumped for Seth Rollins, Cesaro at Mania. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about it.
I'm a big Cesaro guy. I was, again, you'll know this about me. I'll pick my guys from back in the day, and I'll root for them forever. Like, day one Bayley fan, right here. Day one Apollo Crews fan, I hit the hidden gems. This seemed like such a filler for all the bad reasons. Just about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, Shinsuke Nakamura was in a bar talking about, it's now my chance. King of Straw style. Probably the swan song we're all waiting for because he's not getting any younger. Can't say he's on the end of his career, but he's actually pretty mature. You go out there, you give him his old music back. You give him the long jackets back. All he's missing now is the solo people with the violin before he gets out there, and then come on, and then get stomped to oblivion. Why would any Shinsuke Nakamura fans have any hope their guy can somehow be formidable in 2021? Tonight just said it's all about Mr. Rollins, and well, I don't really care that much. I'm just worried about my boy Cesaro when it comes to WrestleMania.
Neeson?
Sorry, I had to delete something. Hey, weird. Comments get crazy.
Yeah, that was very weird.
Yeah, I just deleted. Comments get crazy, guys, but keep on in the comments. This match was filler, and it had no stakes. And so it just, as much as I love seeing these two performers go, and as much as, like you said, I want to see Cesaro versus Rollins, but right now it just has no stakes for me. There's no stakes. So I feel like as much as we want these characters to win in WWE and both Cesaro and Shinsuke just turned 39, right? Like, or something like that. We want them to win, and we want them to win now and have their moments. It's just, do we want them to have their moments with no stakes involved, and then it's like it didn't work and it fizzled out? Or do we really want the right time? You know, so it's a tough call, but this match, I just wasn't really invested or interested in it at all. But it was a good match. You know, it was like they did a good job, but I just wasn't invested.
Yeah, it kind of, like I said, it's kind of like, oh, let's go see SmackDown on a Wednesday night at Staples Center. What's oh, it's Shinsuke versus Seth. That's cool. That's kind of how it felt.
Right.
It's just a match that is just like, on paper, you're like, oh, this is great, but what did they do to get us there? That's an interesting comment. He needs to quit WWE and head back to New Japan.
He's making buttloads of money.
He's making so much money right now.
No.
And also, the way New Japan's been booked recently, I wouldn't go there if they paid me. Shingo Takagi was robbed last night. Yeah, and we did a domestic violence angle in the finish. That sounds great. Great job, Gato. Anyways, sorry. I stayed up so late to watch that. So late. All right, let's talk about a good match. Money isn't everything. Well, it is when it's your job, I guess.
Exactly. When you have to pay bills and live a life. Yeah, tell that to your bank account, man.
I mean, he was 41. I mean, he's on pay-per-view getting pay-per-view checks.
Right.
It was like a lot for me to go back.
I will say, Brendan, I would be very interested in a Kota Ibushi Shinsuke match because that is Kota Ibushi's hero. And for him to be proclaiming himself God now, it would be interesting to see him go up against his hero.
You know what that's going. You know where that's leading. Come on.
I know where it's leading. It's leading to Kenny Omega, but along the road. Along the road. Yeah, Ken. I don't want to talk about it.
We're Fastlane, guys. We're still in the Fastlane.
We're still in the Fastlane. We're talking about a match that. Speaking of a match where I went, sure, I guess. But at the end, I went, oh my God, these two dudes beat the crap out of each other. It was the no holds barred match between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. This had a lot of great visuals. Man, their backs were totally wrecked. The finish was cool. I really enjoyed this. Drew McIntyre needs to look strong going into his match against Bobby Lashley, and I think he succeeded. And I thought Sheamus looked great in this match as well too.
Man, look, this match was a match. This match was two just hosses beating the crap out of each other. They had fireworks, sparklers that didn't end the match. They had kicking down ramps. They tore through tables. They did all these things. Like they broke through. You've never seen them break through the Thunderdome, like through the actual like people's faces on screens. They did it, and it was amazing. But I wanted to make this one point. If Brock Lesnar does not come into the world title picture for the Raw world title, does that make it less interesting? And is this the perfect time for them just to put Sheamus in there as a triple threat to make it more interesting? Now, I know we want just, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre one-on-one, but we just talked about it. The star power and the cards that they have to fill out is needed. And this could be the first year that Brock Lesnar is not a part of the card in a very long time.
I can answer that question as far as the Brock Lesnar situation, because Brock the more he does it, the more I realize, man, this guy really knows what he is, his role is, part of the business. I used that guy to hate on Brock, like he skipped leg day now. If he's not involved, if he's stuck in Canada, he's like, I'm not even going to work with this in the pandemic. It'd be hard because we'll get to this a little bit later. The Universal title is looking like a triple threat as well. Yep. And so I like to have a one-on-one thing. But with Drew McIntyre, he's a guy that for a lot of casual fans, relapse fans who got into the sport during the pandemic, he visually looks like what a wrestler looks like. He is accessible in that way. And Bobby Lashley doesn't talk. I've been critical of him before. Before as far as like the entertainment value for me personally, I don't knock you for Bobby Lashley fans, but once he aligned himself with MVP in a very smart way, from the nadir of his career, saying, "Hey, Bobby, you're dealing with Rusev, you're dealing with your wife, you should be talking about like championship goal." That's been unstoppable. The promos that MVP can do, the squash matches Drew can do for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander can work. Will it main event one night? Probably not. But I do think it can still work on one-on-one. But if you can get Brock Lesnar to teleport in, then why the hell not?
I think for me personally, I would like to see it stay a singles match because, to your point, MVP can make it a bigger match than maybe some people feel it could be just by talking them into watching. And I think Drew McIntyre is a good promo too, but I think I would like to keep it a singles, but I mean, we don't know what Lesnar's doing if he is involved. I think since we are leaning to one title match being a triple threat, I think we need to pump the brakes on maybe having the other one be a triple threat, because I feel like that's too many. It's like too many Best Picture nominations. Too many.
Hot take.
Well,
hot take. Sorry, Mom.
Well, Academy Awards.
There you go. Any other thoughts on this no holds barred match?
I think it was great. I think I can't say it was great enough, man. I really think that it was one of those matches we're gonna look back and see that Sheamus is an unsung hero as much as people give him shit for, but he's really, really damn good, and he really went all out for Drew McIntyre on that. Like, he took the bump in the screens. He took the bump in the thing. He went all out for him, and kudos, man. Cool fucking toast to Sheamus, and I hope he gets his chance in the sun sometime soon.
Sheamus is my favorite wrestler on the roster. I would give him praise all day long.
I would not mind seeing him with another world title run. I think that he deserves it. I think that would be cool.
Yep.
Give him his Intercontinental title. Give him that.
Oh, is that the only one he needs?
That's the only one he needs. Just give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have him versus. I would love to see him versus Biggie for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be great. Up next, we had an intergender match between Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. If you want to call, what if Shane brings Lesnar to fight Braun? I think wasn't there some, I feel like we talked about a scenario where Shane would be like, I'm not going to wrestle, but this guy will wrestle for me. I think we talked about it last year. Anyway, that's a great scenario, Ken. I think that would be having Lesnar be a surprise with no build to face Braun, I think would be cool. I think that would be interesting. And then would you go forward with Shane and Lesnar hanging out together?
That'd be great.
Also,
I want Brock to give Braun another 3-piece combo for hitting him too hard again.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well deserved.
Slow down. Yeah.
Amazing. We had the intergender match. Alexa Bliss pins Randy Orton, thus becoming the new Legend Killer.
Pins?
Never.
That was a straddle. I'm just
this is my face when it happened.
Oh, again.
Family entertainment, y'all.
On Peacock. You can watch the replay on peacocktv.com.
Hey.
This was, I really wish this was a cinematic match. I think they could have done a lot of stuff with it, but it was just,
I feel like it was.
I mean, technically it was, but I feel like, more, I wanted more cinematic, like Cena, Fiend kind of stuff like that. I assume that's what we're getting at WrestleMania is a cinematic match where we go through Randy Orton's career, which would be fun.
Is this our last pre-tape match at a pay-per-view? Since we're going back to fans, we can't do pre-tape matches anymore. I think this is it, guys.
Pretty much, yeah.
We should enjoy this. We should enjoy this moment of Kane coming back. I mean, the Fiend coming back.
So yeah, let's talk about the big thing that happened here. Is the Fiend is back. He looks like who said the Toxic Avenger. I also saw somebody mention that he looked like, oh no, the cartoon's blanking. It was a stop motion cartoon on Nickelodeon, and his name was Meltman. He was part of a little crew. I can't remember what cartoon it was, but he looked like a little melty, crazy looking guy. What do we think of the Fiend's new look? And do we think this is our new Fiend going forward?
Yeah, I think this is our new Fiend going forward. I think this is our new addition to the Fiend, the new chapter to the Fiend character. Like Alexa Bliss had new makeup, right? Like she had the whole like dead president's makeup going, like she was about to go rob a bank. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what what we see as far as like Mania. Like, what are they gonna do for Mania? It has to be a Firefly Funhouse match, right? Like, that's what it has to be.
Maybe. Oh, Action League Now, by the way, is the name of the show. Action League Now, if you're a fan of that show back in the Meltman was in that one. But the thing about Bray Wyatt, man, he has so many different gimmick matches. There was a Firefly Funhouse match, the Firefly Inferno match, the Swamp Fight. Like, he really cleaned these things up during this pandemic time, and all those is to his disposal. I liked the Firefly Funhouse last year, but I don't know how to win one. I think this time, I think there should be some kind of stakes of how Randy Orton can get out of it. We knew going in this time that Bray would show up, because there's no way they're going to have Randy Orton just like destroy Alexa Bliss. Yeah, I do think it's cool to see this new Fiend. We're getting kind of tired of him. I do think it's the Fiend's last run here, because frankly, Randy Orton healed up his burns in 3 weeks, but he's still melted. So I don't think he's as strong as he used to be. If he loses now, I can't get invested in him a fourth time for sure.
I think Mike makes a good point. Just don't project the maggots on the mat again.
Oh yeah, it was a House of Horrors. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, House of Horrors. That was the other gimmick match.
So many gimmick matches.
Bray is cleaning up.
And the worst thing about that was having Cole try to sell it. Oh my God, there's maggots. There's maggots on the ground.
Oh my God.
What's going on? Sick. It's sick.
Goodness. And now it's main event time. WWE Universal Championship match with Edge as the special guest enforcer. Roman Reigns retains against Daniel Bryan. I don't know how many times we have to say it on the show, but Roman Reigns is absolutely magnificent in this match and just in general. The little tap Just great stuff. He was selling like a maniac for Daniel Bryan. And I love when I cannot tell in the match. I'm like, I think Daniel Bryan's going to win. I think it's going to happen. Like, they make me believe that it might actually happen. And these two guys put on a great match, and it does look like it might be a triple threat at Mania. Flobo, what do you think? What did you think of the match, and what do you think of us making this possibly a triple threat match at Mania?
I am a sucker for these kind of matches. Usually this kind of happens at the Royal Rumble, where there's a champion, there's a hot shot #1 contender. There's no way they're going to win, but you go, maybe? Like when Finn Balor faced Brock Lesnar, you're like, can he do it?
Yeah.
Those are always the best. That's why I think that's pure wrestling, right? Suspending your disbelief. You know the storylines, you know the plans, but for a second there, it goes off the rails. The match was great. Daniel Bryan has a good claim to being in this mix. It's very relatable. Hey, I've been putting in the work, Edge. I'm not the biggest Edge fan, I'll admit this, but to me, it did not sit right with me to have someone at his advanced age. Now, I know Bobby Lashley's 43. I know Shelton Benjamin's 45. But having Edge at 47 showing up and winning the Royal Rumble and then going on a 2-week tour, going to brand, being like, I should fight you or you. And that's what a baby face does. So I'm glad Edge got some edge in there, because now there's someone else I want to root for, and that person is Daniel Bryan. Now, I understand Roman Reigns is in a class for himself, and to be honest, he's been doing so well. I hope he holds his title forever. But thankfully, if Daniel Bryan wins this match and takes the title off Roman, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't throw the WCW Nitro trash in the ring if Daniel Bryan won that match. And that just shows you how all three men have done what they had to do in this one. It was great.
Neeson?
I loved it. I smiled the whole match. Like, it felt like I remember watching that 2015 Fastlane match before Mania, and everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to win to go back to headline WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns just showed up and showed out. And once again, not only did Roman Reigns show up and show out, but Daniel Bryan was right there. And I felt bad for Edge, because I could care less about Edge being in the main event.
Thank you.
Like, I really can't. And I didn't think
How did they do that?
I didn't think I was gonna get there, because I was like, okay, I want like Edge and Roman. That's really blockbuster. Like, that's WrestleMania. And then after this match, I was like, yo, like, they really got us, like you said, they got us to believe, like, like, wait a minute, hold up, this could happen. And I think now it has to happen. Like, if it doesn't, it just won't feel like, now we're at a point where it just won't feel right if it doesn't. And that's such an accomplishment to Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
So you feel like any other match they would put Daniel Bryan in at Mania other than this one would just be a waste?
It's unless now, we had this conversation last week. Pete Dunne. Yeah. Now, when they were doing all the grappling stuff in the beginning, it was a Pete Dunne match. And I really think that was a warm up to what we could eventually see with the Pete Dunne and Daniel Bryan. And I think that'd be a great match.
He did tweet out, Pete Dunne did. He tweeted out Danielson during the match. So, I mean, this was something I said last week when Pete Dunne was saying, I'm the best technical wrestler in the world. Someone come and step to me, basically. And I said, well, I mean, as of right now, it doesn't look like Daniel Bryan's going to be doing anything WrestleMania weekend. And that's a match that I would love to see. But, I mean, hey, if Daniel Bryan ends up at the end of WrestleMania with the title, I would love to see that too.
Oh, I mean, I think that'll be every wrestling fans on this, not only on this show and this chat, but just around the world. We will all just jump for effing joy if he ends up closing out WrestleMania Sunday night, holding the title.
Absolutely. Flobo, what do you think of that possibility? It's kind of a dream match in a sense with Pete Dunne and Daniel Bryan. Would you rather see that, or would you rather see him in this triple threat?
It's a tough call to make because I am an NXT UK bias. I watch it live every week. That match sells itself. You can have that match on the moon. You can have it on SummerSlam. You can have it at Worlds Collide. It will. You don't take anything. But I will say this: after tonight, I have never seen this Roman tap out before. Like that to me is like, I want to see that story end. So right now, immediately, that has to be option one. But Pete Dunne can wrestle with anybody. A lot of the NXT UK guys, to their credit or discredit, are just so utilitarian. They can go with pretty much anybody. So yeah, that's a match I want to see. I want my cake and eat it too, if I had a chance to do that. So
I guess I want to ask you, since Pete Dunne has said, give me someone to wrestle, who do you think it would be?
On the main
best technical wrestler? No, sir.
Yeah, I mean, best technical wrestler as far as like
Andrade.
No. Andrade versus Pete Dunne would slap.
That would
not
be cool.
Not this Andrade. I would pick Sheamus. I would pick Sheamus from Raw. Cesaro would definitely be a good one, but I feel that's kind of similar in style. But yeah, I think those two would definitely make something happen for sure.
All right. What I don't know. I didn't see what the comment was. Flobo, okay, so you watch NXT live every week. You have a podcast about NXT UK and NXT.
Yeah.
As someone who used to watch NXT UK weekly, and it kind of like when they were doing the double shot shows, and I was reviewing like a bunch of shows, and I'm like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah.
I know we're back in it. We've kind of revamped the talent pool. How would you sell NXT UK to, I guess, myself, Neeson, and the people watching this right now?
But before I even get into that, I just want to say that everyone has their wrestling diet, and I know wrestling fans, shame you if you don't watch every piece of wrestling content. It is okay. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to take yourself off the bus because just like 20 hours of wrestling live per week, and there's no reruns. But the reason why I love NXT UK is that it is a roster that on the surface you kind of look and go, well, who are these people? They're just people that look like they're tough or they can just fight or whatever. But you take the time to realize how some of them do that rounds-based wrestling. Some of them do joint manipulation like Pete Dunne. Some of the people that were in the last pay-per-view, the last takeover, Grizzly Young veterans, Pete Dunne himself, Danny Burch. These all came from NXT United Kingdom. We always talk about strong style. Oh, I'm British strong style. I'm Japanese strong. I'm ghetto strong style. But they're actually doing it week in and week out. I challenge everyone. If you have 30 minutes this year, go back and check out Walter versus Ilia Draganov, and you tell me that NXT UK does not do it for you, does not move the needle. I challenge you, I dare you, because it changed my perspective of how you can damage someone and still get up afterwards.
Ilia Draganov is, I think, one of the most under. I say this not having. I know he's in a program right now with. Tell me who it is. I can't remember his name.
He's Gradwell, but it's kind of like him controlling his anger type deal. So
I love Ilia Draganov. I've been watching him since his days in WXW. He is amazing, and I hope one day he gets to hold that NXT UK title for sure. Okay, what is it like? It's an hour-long show, right? And
hour-long.
Are they just doing the one show a week? Because for me, that was the thing that turned me off. It's like, here's one show, and here's another show immediately after.
They're doing at 12 o'clock noon Pacific, so 3 p.m. They do the last week's episode, and you get one new episode. So It's only an hour a week, and that's how much investment you get. And of course, NXT UK's talent kind of live tweets it because no one's really talking about it. So it's kind of cool how many people I've met and talked to doing this show because there's not many people in the United States that watch that program, but we go live 5 minutes after that show ends on Thursdays. So at 105 or 205, we go live and go, the main event was crazy, right? And so we had like Ashton Smith retweeting our stuff. We had Andy Separate on our other episode, the commentator. So a lot of fun doing that show.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there anything else we want to touch on before we get on out of here? I know we had Thunder Rosa Britt Baker this week. I kind of just dropped that in your lap right now. I don't know if both of you watched the match.
Yeah.
I guess let's just close out the show talking about that because it was a big topic for a lot of people. A lot of people either really, really loved the match or they were like, why did they have to bleed? I've seen all the comments from the IWC. For me personally, I thought it was a near perfect match. I really, really loved it. I thought they killed it. and I'm just glad that AEW gave a women's match the time and the main event. How were you guys feeling about it after you saw it?
I think you know how I felt.
Well, tell the people how you feel.
Yeah,
You already know.
You know. But I would tell the people. The people know how I feel as well about AEW's women's division and how Britt Baker should be that chick to ride off in the sunset with that title and push them into the next chapter into their women's division. But they didn't. It was a main event. It was great. I love the match. Why did they bleed? Because they bled. Do you get mad when fucking Kenny Omega bleeds or when Johnny Moxley bleeds all the damn time? No, you don't. You say, give me more. And you know what they did? They gave you all of them. That match was fucking fantastic. It's one of AEW's best matches, bar none. On top of that, I wish that was for a title. Like, why? Like, this has been one of their hottest feuds. And going in AEW, going for how many months? Since months. Like, for a long time. Since she poured water on her face and, like, ripped off the paint off her face. Like, and Britt Baker didn't win. And she still was over. Like, guys, Britt Baker's that chick. She should be AEW's #1 woman in that company, and this just proved it. And Thunder Rosa, as I said, I love Thunder Rosa, and I can't wait till she shows up on SmackDown and faces Sasha Banks for the WWE title. That is just my dream. That is what I wish for.
It won't even be like Thunder Rosa. It'd be something lame, like a Maria Santos or something. Like, flat. Look, I gotta be honest with you. Thunder Rosa was a coup for AEW. I'm not sure if she's still on loan, not sure if she's full on time signed, but the AEW's women's division has been in dire straits for a long time for 2 reasons. One, they have the talent. You can't tell me that Swole is trash or Britt Baker's trash. It's just that the stories they would have would just end, right? They would just end for whatever reason. Like you build up Abaddon or Abaddon, and then there's a match, and then it's over. Mm-hmm. I understand when people say, why did they bleed? For 2 reasons. One, it's the first main event for the women's division. So you should probably show us how you can impress just having a classic athletic match. They didn't do that. That was an artistic choice. And 2, your so-called death match was actually weaker between Omega and Moxley, and the ladies showed you up on your Zoom show on free television. No sparklers needed.
Facts.
But that said, if you're a Britt Baker fan, it was an odd loss to watch because you thought it would have been a lot more like she'll probably get the comeuppance thing, but it told a good story top to bottom. My issue with the women's division, personally, as someone who was a big NXT guy, I grew up with WWE. That's my local wrestling federation. So I say that as not so much of a bias, but I look through that lens, is that it's hard to describe the characters on that brand. How do you describe what a Red Velvet is? How do you describe what a how do you describe what a Karushita is? And that's the hardest thing, because you can tell me her Karushita was great, but when you look at NXT, Raquel Gonzalez, she's essentially a Texan. Say no more, fam. Dakota Kai is one thing. Rhea Ripley, punk rock, Xia Li. You can have a picture of Xia Li and get her entire story. I think that's what AEW needs. Yeah, that's what I think AEW needs to work on. But the match itself was great. I loved it. Omega and Moxley be taking notes. Poor Eddie Kingston had to cover that match, but the women's match on Wednesday was great.
Eddie King, his name was on the board last week just because.
Was he robbed?
Bless that man. No, said Eddie. Just said Eddie Kingston.
Was he right?
Yeah.
And also, I unfortunately spoiled the New Japan Cup for my friend Nick in the chat. Sorry, but you should still watch the match, even though the wrong man won.
It's like, not anymore. Just tosses it.
Just doesn't watch it. No, it was a good match. Flobo, this was fun. Thanks for joining us, man.
Oh yeah, likewise. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
If there's anything you would like to plug at this moment, plug away, sir.
Yeah, if you want to check out Draped in Gold, that's the show we're talking about when I discuss NXT UK and NXT. That's drapedingold.com. That's drapedingold.com. Can't believe that URL was free, so I bought it. And also you can follow me on Twitter at FloboBoys.
Awesome. Thank you. Neeson, what do you got?
Guys, it's been a long road. It's been great. The fast lane was filled with a lot of traffic, but we are in a home stretch to one amazing, incredible, jam-packed year of wrestling. Am I right? No, we get fans back, and I'm excited, and I really can't wait. I miss having fans in the audience and watching a wrestling show. And I will actually be in Florida. Breaking news.
Oh,
guys.
you're going?
Yeah. Yeah, scared. Gonna get vaccinated tomorrow. But it's what I gotta plug is In a Session. We will be rolling out a lot of new stuff, man. We shot a lot of new stuff. So, and I really want to say, if you guys know any amazing creatives, rather they do music, art, dancing, tapping, whatever they do, shoot them my way. You could DM me at Stay Fly Life or at In a Session. We're shooting season 2. It's gonna be great, and also a bunch of other stuff that my brain just went blank for. But just follow me as on Stay Fly Life as usual, guys.
And speaking of vaccination, hopefully we'll be in that studio soon, huh?
I mean, yeah, guys, come by. I mean, look, we could talk about vaccinations off the air, but
yes,
going to Florida would definitely have your brain thinking, because if I'm gonna be in Florida for a week, Florida's open, guys. It's not LA.
It is not. It is definitely not LA. But what do I have to plug? My wrestling podcast is on hold because of this little pup right here. Just a big handful. So my tornado tag is still on hold at this moment. I do have a Doctor Who podcast for anyone that is just crossing over from that for some reason. It's called Podcastica. That's still going on. NOTLG
doctor?
Who's my doctor?
Yeah.
Well, modern day Matt Smith, classic Patrick Troughton.
Wow. I don't know who that person is. I know he was the 11th Doctor. Matt was
he was
11th
the
Doctor?
Matt, yes, he was the 11th.
Oh, I just called it. What?
There you go. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right now.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk. Oh my goodness. You,
See? Yeah.
Flobo, you and me. I mean, Mets, wrestling,
Mets fans,
Doctor
wrestling,
Who.
Doctor Who.
Man, like I was in the Mets, Archie Comics, and wrestling. I got in fights all the time growing up, and I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, my mom was born in Brooklyn.
That's what's up. What part?
I'm not sure what part, but my grandpa was born in the Red Hook section. I know that much.
Oh, you and Taz. No.
Yep, me and Taz. Hey, Grandpa Taz. He's like, I don't know what that is. That's fine. What do we got here? Facebook.com/THS Wrestling News, Instagram.com/THS.Wrestling, YouTube.com/that#show TV, and Twitch.tv/that#show. And there's all of our little handles right there if you want to find us anywhere. But most importantly, guys, that#show.com for everything trending in geek pop culture. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Bye.